Hi everybody and welcome back to Tales of Wanderlust. I'm Cass, this is Jasper, and I have officially decided to sell the truck camper. So if you want to find out why, stay tuned. Good morning everybody. It is Monday, January 30th. It is the Monday of my week-long vacation. I took an entire week off to bring the truck camper and Jasper on a nice, warm New Mexico getaway. We left Saturday, so technically this is day 3, and we're actually gonna turn around and head home. It's mostly because the truck camper really isn't suited well for us. So, learned a lot of things. I did the one shakedown trip before, which took it to Arizona. There were several things missing, so I put them into the truck camper. So it's now, for the most part, at a complete stage. The only thing that's missing is the table for when I work, but I took this week off work, so I don't need to worry about that. And it's not the right truck camper for us. The bed for Jasper and I is very small. He doesn't get really that comfortable at night. He's a sprawler, and so he doesn't have enough room. He doesn't really enjoy it up there. He'll jump down, try to sleep on the floor, but then the floor space actually isn't even big enough for him because of the composting toilet being there and just his size. He also is just not a fan of this one. The base camp, he was used to. So, I mean, there is that. We were in it for 4 years, but I could leave him in the base camp. He would settle into bed. I would watch him on the camera. He would relax. He'd be totally fine. I left him in this. I mean, we've only been in it a week and a half, so there's absolutely still potential he could get used to it. But last night I went to Panda Express to get some food, left him in it alone for all of 15 minutes at the absolute most, probably 10. And he was freaking out. He was panicking. I came back and he has this really high pitched like bark, and that's what he was doing. He was not having fun. It's 7 a.m. and I haven't had my coffee yet. Napoleon's also always been left behind on these trips because we haven't been able to find a spot for his litter box yet. And the lack of a bathroom. This is only 3 days in. And yes, I have done sponge baths. I have done wet wipe baths. I have tried to keep myself clean. I'm really not that dirty, but I feel dirty. We were at White Sands yesterday playing in the sand, running around, and you get that gritty feeling. And I still have that a little bit today. I really, really love my nighttime, even though it's like a half-gallon rinse off. I love my hot water half-gallon rinse off. I really rely on it for my routine and to relax and to wind down after a day. And I don't have that in here. And composting toilet. It is 7 a.m. We've been up for 45 minutes, getting ready, taking Jasper out to eat. I still haven't gone to the bathroom. And that's because I hate using the composting toilet. Every single time I go to use it, I have to build up courage. Like, you got this, you can do this. And then I use it. I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. But I really don't like the composting toilet. To me, you're a lot more intimate with everything in a composting toilet. Whereas a black tank, you just flush, it goes away. I've never had any crazy incidents with the black hose. So you put gloves on, you hook up the hose, you pull a lever, and you just stand there. And everything happens, and you push it shut, put everything away, and you're done. It's really not that bad. I know some people hate black tanks, but I don't find them that bad. The composting toilet though, this is a different one. This one is much better than the one I had last time. This is a compo closet. It has an overflow light on it, but I've only overflowed it once so far, filled it up once, and the light came on when it was full, but then there wasn't enough space for me to finish going. So I didn't know it was full, and so I overflowed it. And so it's a lot messier to clean up than a black tank is to empty, as long as there's no black tank fiascos, which I've never had a black tank fiasco. So I'm not a huge fan of the composting toilet. I'm not against them because eventually I do want to build a bit more of like an true overlanding rig, and I'd kind of like swap back and forth between them. So something really low, like a pop-up camper or a wedge camper. And I'd bring a composting toilet along for that. You know, I'd rather use a composting toilet than a hole in the ground. But man, oh man. Basically what the plan is for today I am going to take Jasper back home. So we are in Las Cruces. We stayed at Walmart last night because we actually met a friend coming up from Texas here. So we hung out in the Walmart parking lot. We're gonna take off, drive the 8 hours, and take Jasper back to Colorado. And then he's gonna stay with Michael for the rest of the week. And I'm gonna go do some skiing. But for skiing, I would have to leave him alone in the camper during the day. And so it's just not fair for Jasper. So we're gonna take him home. I'm going to finish drinking my cup of coffee. Hopefully this hasn't been too much rambling because this has been pre-coffee conversation. And then yeah, it's gonna be time to move on to the next rig. All right, let's hit the road. We ended up at McDonald's so I could use the restroom. And you know, when at McDonald's, one must eat sausage egg McMuffins. All right, back on the road we go. Pupperons. We can't go to the Petroglyphs because they don't allow animals, and he's not a big fan of the camper, so I'm not going to leave him in the camper by himself. So we are only an hour and a half into, I think it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive. So I am, signal is not the best here, gonna try to load up my Onyx, so you can actually not see the Onyx, but instead my GoPro sitting on my dashboard. And let me see if I can find some BLM. So it's actually mostly BLM land around here. There's a 2-track back towards the highway. So I'm going to head that way and see if I can get Jasper out and running a little bit. So we're gonna go put that on the map and see if we can find this. That was the 2-track. Okay, hang on. Now that is not something I would have done with the base camp. Tire pressure's good. It's a bit of an angle to get in there, but let's see how this goes. Worst that happens, I get stuck. We're gonna stop here. We're not gonna go too much further, and I'm gonna get him out to run, and then we're gonna hit the road again. All right, so we are there in a little spot. The main road is literally right there, and we're gonna walk maybe 200 yards that way and just kind of do a straight loop back and forth because I don't know the area at all, and it's pretty remote, so I really am not gonna head too far in. It's more just to get Jasper some exercise. Here you go. Let's go. Come on. There's glass everywhere. It is sad how trash this place is. Like, it's the absolute middle of nowhere. So we actually aren't gonna go very far at all because I don't want his paws to get cut. He's enjoying the shade. Who wants to break his heart and tell him we have to go? Well, sadly, we didn't get anywhere near as much running around time as I wanted. 6.5 hours, we'll head straight back to Colorado. This is always a good reminder that whatever truck camper I do end up with, it needs to be small, agile, and nimble, because I like to pull off and do these kind of things. So good reminder, because sometimes you can see the big ones and they're nice and luxurious, but at the same point, there is a balance. Since my main thing was to get Jasper back home, I did not look at the weather, and this was quite the ice storm, it looks like, that came through New Mexico. Hopefully the weather isn't too bad on the way up to Colorado here. Oh, the heat. We made it back to Colorado. Jasper is inside the house, outside the truck camper, so he is much happier, and it is now moving day. So I am going to completely empty out the truck camper, post it for sale. I already have somebody who's interested in it, and we're gonna see how long it takes to sell this thing. And it is the end of the Northern Lite 610 era, which only lasted for 2 trips. It was a really long renovation project, but not that long of a usable rig. I feel like I just moved everything in here, and I'm moving everything back out. I am extremely, extremely excited to get a rig that is bigger, more comfortable, has a bathroom, and when I think about this camper and actually going out in it, it's kind of stressful. I know Jasper's not happy, I know we're not super comfortable, I know it's tight, all of that stuff. But man, I've spent so long on this camper. It's a little, not a little, it's a lot bittersweet as well. Michael made me this clock. This is a custom clock out of copper and walnut that he made me. That is now built into the camper, and it's gonna go. For the next truck camper, in my cabinets, I'm going to build very specific sections for every little thing, because I have noticed when you start driving them down, truck campers, when you start driving them down dirt roads, everything starts flying everywhere. My cabinets right now are an absolute disaster. And I swear they were neat and organized at one point, but a little bit of road travel and they're an absolute mess. It still amazes me how much stuff you can get in such a tiny space. Do I regret this whole project? No. I've learned a lot. I feel a lot more confident if anything goes wrong with the future camper, truck camper, trailer, anything like that. I've learned a lot of different skills. I've done electrical, plumbing, propane, carpentry, painting. We've kind of done the gamut, and I'm very, very happy with what we've learned. I wish it hadn't taken this long. If I could do it again, I would have kept the base camp while I was doing the renovation, so that I could still have gone to Alaska, different things like that, and just taken the base camp instead of the truck camper. So I wouldn't shy away from doing another project like this at all. I would do one again, but I would want to make sure that I have a way to still go out and travel, still do the things I enjoy doing, and I don't want to dedicate another 9 months to just working on a project. I want to have a better balance if I ever do it again. So where we go from here, I have no idea. If you have any questions on why I'm selling it, feel free to comment below, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see what comes next.